Welcome to the third and final part of your pre-mission briefing, and crucially, the one that deals with your operatives being shot at. Before you begin, be sure to watch the first two parts to learn about your operatives' capabilities and the initial phases of the game. Then, you'll be ready to enter the firefight phase. Once the initiative and strategy phases have been completed, it becomes time for the kill teams to take action. The player with the initiative selects one of their operatives to activate and chooses whether they have the engage or conceal order. We'll go into what these mean a little later, but in broad terms, the engaged operative is one acting aggressively and attacking their enemies, while a concealed operative is moving stealthily and trying to avoid enemy fire. The active operative now chooses which actions to take, spending action points up to a maximum of its APL characteristic. These can include universal actions usable by all operatives, such as move and shoot. There are also unique actions specified on the operative's data card, or mission actions determined by the scenario chosen. This operative will spend its first action points to move. To do so, it may move up to its movement characteristic in straight line increments of at least one triangle. If a particular increment would be less than that, it is rounded up to one triangle regardless. In the course of this move, the operative may not come within engagement range of an enemy operative, and it may not take this action if it begins its activation already within engagement range. Now that they've moved into a good position, this operative is going to take the shoot action, which can only be taken by operatives with the engage order mentioned earlier. First, select a valid target, which must be an enemy operative in line of sight that has no friendly operatives within their engagement range. It's important to note that if the enemy operative is partially obscured by a terrain piece and is selected the conceal order, they are not a valid target for the shooting attack. Then, choose one range weapon they possess and roll as many dice as shown by the weapon's attacks characteristic. Each die that meets or exceeds the weapon's ballistic skill characteristic is considered a successful hit. Make sure to keep track of every 6 rolled, as this is called a critical hit. Once the attack dice have been rolled, the defender rolls a number of defense dice equal to their defense characteristic. And much like the attack roll, any results that meet or exceed their save value are successful, with rolls of a 6 being critical saves. Now, the defender expends their successful saves to each cancel out one of the attacker's successful hits, with 2 normal saves or 1 critical save required to cancel out a critical hit. When all the defense dice have been expended, any remaining successful hits do their listed damage to the target's wound characteristic. All normal hits inflict the weapon's normal damage, while critical hits instead inflict the weapon's critical damage. Finally, if the attack reduced the target's wound characteristic to 0 or less, that operative is incapacitated and removed from the kill zone. Now that the operative has expended all of their action points, their order token is flipped over to indicate they've taken their turn. It is now the other player's turn to select one of their own operatives to activate. On their turn, the player decides to have one of their operatives make a charge action. This involves making a normal move, as described in this video, with a few key changes. Firstly, the operative may move an extra circle while charging across the kill zone. However, they must end their action within engagement range of an enemy operative, and may not move out of an enemy operative's engagement range if they pass into it in the course of the move. Once this move is resolved, the enemy operative decides to take a fight action and try running their opponent through. They select one target within engagement range, one weapon they possess, and roll their attack dice just like when taking a shoot action. However, instead of rolling the defense dice, the opponent also chooses one of their own weapons and makes their own attack rolls in the same way. Beginning with the attacking operative, players take it in turns to resolve one of their successful hits. To do this, pick one success from the dice they rolled and choose whether to strike or parry. Strikes deal damage to their opponent equal to their normal damage, or critical damage in the event of a critical hit, while parries are expended to discard one of the opposing combatant's own successful hits. However, a critical hit is required to parry an opposing critical hit. Expending 2 normal hits won't work this time. Damage is resolved as normal, and once the enemy operative has expended all their action points, it is time for the first player to select their next operative to activate. Continue alternating activations, and once no more ready operatives are left, the turning point ends and a new one begins from the initiative phase. Once 4 turning points have passed, the game ends. Congratulations, you're ready to enter the kill zone and add another glorious victory to your tally. These rules will get you into your games of Kill Team quickly and effectively, but be aware that many more rules and concepts remain in the core book to enhance your games even further. You'll find more actions, objective-based gameplay, cover and terrain mechanics, special weapon rules, and more waiting for you. And you can look out for further faction army lists, such as those found in Kill Team Octarius. For the next steps in your Kill Team career, check out the whole Kill Team range and take your expertise in close quarters special operations to a whole new level.